Okay, guys, I know I've been streaming a lot these days, so let me first apologize. I'm sorry for streaming so much, but really, I'm I got this idea. Okay, so I gotta walk my dogs. Actually, I just got home. I ate some fish. Hopefully, I didn't eat somebody else's fish. But anyways, before I wipe my dogs, I wanted to get this thought out there. Sorry, like I said, I just ate some fish. This past Tuesday at Toastmasters, this guy named Raheem gave an amazing speech about connections and how vulnerability, like the things that make us feel vulnerable, the things that we feel are like make us look weak or are embarrassing, how they actually help us connect with each other, and they help create those genuine connections with somebody because you can relate, you understand, you can so it triggered an idea that I had before. That word that I couldn't remember. I think I was like eating breakfast last weekend. And I couldn't remember the word. The word was altruism. So I believe that true altruism could not exist without suffering. Like he was saying, vulnerability creates connections. Suffering, I think, creates that desire to help. And here's the thing. I feel like, so what is altruism? Altruism is, that helping others, helping somebody without any, without looking to get anything in return, just helping for the sake of helping because you genuinely want to help somebody. I don't think that actually exists, right? If you look around at the world we live in, does that really happen? People just help people just because they want to help somebody and they don't look for anything in return? I don't think so. But it does happen. And I think that the only reason why that happens is that if somebody sees somebody else suffering the way that they suffered and they know what that person's going through, they understand the pain, that's what I think creates that desire to help that person, because because you're doing something that you wish somebody would have done for you. So I guess maybe it is selfish in nature when it comes down to it. It's making you feel good. It's making you feel better about yourself because you're doing something that you wish someone would have done for you when you were suffering like that. I don't know. But I think that's where that desire to help, that genuine desire to help without any expectation of anything in return. I mean, because if you suffered like that person has suffered, then there's nothing to return, You've been there, there's nothing to give back, So that's not what you're helping. You're not helping because you're trying to get anything in return. Because if you've really been there, and you've been in that person's shoes, you know that even if they wanted to, there's no way to get anything back. So that's not why you're helping. You're helping because you know how that feels. And so that's why I believe that pain and suffering is usually looked at as a very negative thing. It's like we want to avoid pain and suffering. And yeah, to a certain point, it's not like I go out every day and look for pain and suffering. But when it happens, and when things are painful, and when I have to suffer through poverty, even when I'm broke and I have no money to buy things, even food for myself or my family, and bills, utility bills aren't getting paid. I'm getting disconnection letters and stuff, like I don't know how I'm gonna pay these things. When I know how that feels, and my car getting taken from me, by the bank, and it's like, so when I see other people suffering like that, of course I'm gonna want to help because I grew up like that my whole life, and then I experienced it in my adult life with my own children. And so it's like, yeah, when I see somebody going through the same thing I went through, then of course I want to help without any expectation of anything in return because I know that there's nothing to return. I've been there. So yeah, I just wanted to share this thought, that, oh, the Art of Grooming, not the Art of Happiness. The Dalai Lama wrote the Art of Happiness, and in the Art of Happiness, he writes that suffering, if we change the way we look at suffering, we can actually embrace it. And when quote unquote bad things happen, and when problems happen, and we feel so down, we feel so sad, we feel like like our dreams are shattered, right? Then I think those are the times that we can really, if you kind of look at it in a different way, you can start to be grateful. You can start to be thankful even for this, because you understand that through your heartache, you will be able to connect with others better. You will be able to relate with other people's pain, and they will be able to relate to yours. And also, when you feel that desire to help somebody who's suffering, that desire to help without expectation of anything in return, that altruism, I think, comes from going through that same pain, suffering yourself. So I just wanted to share that. I mean, I don't know why, but I was like, man, I really just want to get this out there, because you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna share this one last idea before I leave. What would you do? How differently would you live your life if you thought of every single day as a bonus day, right? What I mean by that is, what if you knew deep down that you really were not supposed to be here, that you should have been dead and gone a long time ago? So then now every single day that you have after that is a bonus day. What if you thought of every day like that? Today's another bonus day, another day that I shouldn't have been alive. How differently would you live your life, right? How small would the problems feel like, the arguments and everything? Because literally, after I drove back from Las Vegas in our broken down Pacifica, going 35 miles per hour, and I almost died. I almost drove under a truck, and I almost drove off the road a couple times too, because it was exhausting. I was hot, sweaty. The engine was overheating. Anyways, but I couldn't stop. I didn't have the money to get it fixed. I had to just keep check. I knew if I could just make it home, I had help. So anyways, after that trip, I remember thinking, wow, I really could have died. I was like this close, literally this close to dying, right? Just a couple years ago, right? Just a few years ago. And it literally started to change my outlook on life. And I actually asked myself, sitting on I pulled over to a rest area, sat on a park bench, and I asked myself, what if I did die? What if I went under that truck and I died? And I'm not here right now at this moment. I was like, would I be okay with that? And the answer was yes. I was like, I would be okay with that, because the books that I've written, my daughters, they're beautiful, they're healthy, and they know that I love them. The books that like everything that I've shared, my ideas, my experiences that I've gotten out there in my podcast, in written and spoken and video form, I've got a lot of my ideas, and I put a lot of my experiences out there. So I was like, yeah, I would have been okay if I went under that truck and died. And so I was like, well, then from now on, every day is a bonus, because I should be dead. It's like, wow, well then every single day I'm gonna live it the way I want, and I'm gonna do things the way I want, and I'm really gonna enjoy and savor each moment, and I'm really gonna cherish my relationships with people, like the real relationships, not the fake ones, and especially cut out the people who I need to cut out without hesitation anymore, because I know I don't have that much time, and I know that every single day now is a bonus day. I gotta live it on my terms, So I hope by me sharing these ideas, it will encourage somebody else to keep shining your own light, no matter what other people say. Even if people criticize you or they complain about you shining your light, they complain it's too bright, they complain it's the wrong color, people make fun of you, people say that you're, this and that or whatever, don't worry about it. Just keep shining your light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, right? So the devil, what is it? The other verse is like, the devil tries to blow it out, I'm gonna let it shine. The other one is, hide it under a bush. Oh no, I'm gonna let it shine, right? And I just really want to encourage other people to just keep shining, even if people make fun of you, even if they tell you that your light's not the right color. They tell you your light's not even bright enough, or it's too bright. Whatever they say, we all are born with the light inside of us. Shine your light, no matter what anyone says, even if it scares you. Even if it makes you feel nervous, and even if people make fun of you and laugh at you, keep shining your light, because eventually the people, other people who were waiting, eagerly waiting for your light, you know, they'll eventually find you. But you got to keep shining. So I'll see you guys. I'm gonna go walk my dogs.